If you think that vaccines cause autism, I need you to read this study because COVID-19 in pregnancy linked with risk of neurodevelopmental disorders in early childhood. This was published January 2nd, 2026, and I've covered it in a previous video as well. The study included more than 18,000 live births between March 2020 and May 2021. And they required PCR tests, which are polymerase chain reaction testing, and a more accurate form of testing, which was used because we had fewer cases worldwide at the time. We had more PCRs available, and we could test more accurately at the time, and people took COVID seriously at the time as well. So, of the 18,124 live births, 861 infants were exposed to maternal SARS-CoV-2 infection. About 16% of children whose mothers tested positive for COVID-19 during pregnancy were diagnosed with a neurodevelopmental condition by age 3 years, compared with about 10% of those whose mothers tested negative. So that's about a 6% increase. So instead of children having a 1 in 10 chance of having a neurodevelopmental disorder, those odds increase to about 1 in 8, just over 1 in 8 and under 1 in 9. And of those neurodevelopmental diagnoses, the most common were disorders of speech and language, developmental disorder of motor function, autistic disorder, and disorders of psychological development. The researchers observed that males were at a higher risk than females, noting that previous research has found that the male placenta and fetal brain are more susceptible to maternal immune activation. Additionally, the risk appeared greatest in those exposed to maternal infection during the third trimester of pregnancy, marking it as a potential window of enhanced susceptibility. The third trimester is really critical for brain development, said Roy Perlis, MD, MSc, another senior author of the study and psychiatrist at Massachusetts General Hospital. So while we think of organ development earlier in pregnancy, third trimester is really a time of massive neuronal growth and synapse formation. Now, Brian Lee, a PhD and professor of epidemiology at Drexel University, whose research focuses on neurological development, was not involved in the study, and Brian Lee has some skepticism of the study. But regardless, if a study or if the results suggest an association between COVID-19 infection during pregnancy and neurodevelopmental outcomes in exposed children, maybe we should take some precautions. Because it almost seems as Brian Lee is dismissing the study, and as I've shown in previous studies as well, getting sick can be detrimental to your child's development. If only we listen to the experts and epidemiologists who study COVID and long COVID.